guys get my email? I sent out an email yesterday to everybody I know. Everybody I know. Virtue signaling. I can't even say the word. Virtual reality. Virtue signaling that I am a sympathizer with the Black Lives Matters riots. And I have compassion and sympathy. And I support 100% these not peaceful protests. How many different emails did you get from people? I got them from crowdfunding sites, Skillshare, which was a sponsor of this show, which I need to officially denounce, and whatever ounce else there is. I am no longer going to be supporting them. I will not be an advertiser for them, or they won't be an advertiser for this show anymore. I am not, and this is the thing too. Welcome to How to Build a Tent, by the way. Part of the Fight Laugh Feast Network over there, flfnetwork.com. Put an HUBT in a memo field, get a mug, get tons of benefits. I understand that there are so many people that are on the left or are so scared of the left that they pretend they're the left so they won't get attacked. That it is impossible to not in one way use or support businesses that do this virtue signaling. But we still, in my opinion, should do our best to be supporting companies that align with our values if they provide value, if they have a good product and services and all that. If it's apples to apples, you should always pick the one that is more aligned with your values. Maybe in your estimations, even if it is a little less valued, it's worthwhile supporting. Like never mind. I almost said something that's going to give me trouble. I almost got kicked off the network. I'm just kidding. Just kidding, guys. But it was absolutely disgusting. If you want to email me, you can email me, matt@howtobuild10.com. I'd love to hear your feedback, your thoughts. I just saw the good old Michael Knowles, who is one of my favorite people to listen to when debating. He is absolutely brilliant. And I just love how he talks, how he thinks. And I love how he renames his Twitter name on his handle all the time. It's hilarious. He was just tweeting that the famous peaceful protesters of the Black Lives Matter have now gathered outside the LA mayor's house to demand that he defund the police. I know Marcus Pittman would be all about this. He's very anti-public funding of the police force. I don't know how I feel about that, quite honestly, from my own position. But there needs to be an acknowledgement here. As I drink some of my tea, excuse me. There needs to be an acknowledgement that these riots, these policies that they are trying to advance are not helping the minority communities. It is not helping build wealth in these communities. These shops are getting torn down. They're getting burned down. They're getting stolen. They're getting burglarized. And it is not putting the Black community in a better place. In fact, it is setting them back. It is setting the minority communities back. It's making them more reliant on the government for bailouts, for subsidies, for unemployment, because their businesses are being destroyed. Some families and friends' lives are being taken. And it's just kind of funny. Who benefits from that? I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I know that's a sin according to Big Eva. I'm not even going to go speculate down that road. But just think, all these rioters, what are they doing? What are they trying to achieve? And will it, in the end, benefit the society? Will it benefit LA to not have a police force? Will it benefit those communities in high crime neighborhoods to not have any kind of law enforcement? None whatsoever. Like, even if you buy into the argument, like Marcus Pittman espouses, that we shouldn't have a police force, it shouldn't be done overnight because we have no mechanism to enforce the law otherwise. But I wanted to talk about the broken window fallacy. Is it the broken window or broken glass fallacy? I think it's broken window fallacy. And it's basically this. One name or the other. I mean this. There is this idea that, or this theory that was put out, but it became proven as a fallacious argument, that in order to create jobs and create stimulus, economic wealth, create a better opportunities for the community, go around, break windows, it creates jobs. Well, no, it doesn't create jobs. It makes you, as a society, have to spend resources that are limited by definition. The study of the allocation of limited resources is economics. It forces you to put those limited resources into something that was perfectly usable, that had utility. Those windows were just fine. They were going to last a lot longer. And instead of using those funds to invest, start a new business, buy more capital, you have to replace something that already exists. So although it may seem like a job is created, that person who replaces glass, who makes glass, has more orders. As a whole, as a society, it really makes you more poor because you're not creating value. You're replacing something that already had value. And so if, let's just say there was 10 value points and you broke one of those points, and then you had 9, and then you had to spend money to get that back to that 10th, you're no better off, but you just spent more money to get to the same spot that you're in. And that's kind of the simplistic layman's way of saying the broken window fallacy. But there might be an exception to this fallacy right now in this time. And man, what a world we live in. I remember yesterday when we needed to Romans 13 it and stay inside, that we had to obey the authorities, not try to defund them, not riot out front of their houses, but we needed to obey our authorities and tell us to stay inside. That was yesterday. Today, it's don't you dare speak out against people assembling in the streets. Don't you dare think about saying anything negative about people going out in crowds, not social distancing. Don't you dare, or you might not even be saved. Some people are saying that. Can you believe that? And what this is doing, at least from, how do I want to say this? From an overall perspective, in the long term, this might be a net positive for the economy. What do you mean, Matt? This is what I mean, guys. There was immense amounts of fear because no one knew what to believe. Because you can't trust the mainstream media. You can't trust politicians. No one knew what to believe. We had heard so much different data. We had the Chinese propagandists. We had the WHO propagandists. We had YouTube propaganda. We had all these media sites with their propaganda. No one knew what they believed. And when we were told, and when we shut down the schools and we shut down all of these institutions, people got really scared and didn't want to go out. But what's happening is we're seeing all these people going out, being in public, not social distancing. And even though there is damage, it might be the thing that stimulates us and motivates us and kind of vanquishes those fears in us as a society and think, hey, you know what? It really wasn't that big of a deal. Look, all these rioters don't have it. They're not scared of it. And maybe this is the thing. Maybe this is the thing that is going to break us of those fearful chains of getting our economy back up and running. And it's interesting to me that through all of this stuff, where stores are being destroyed, people are being looted, people are being murdered. By the way, man, was that Trump move like a strong move? Walks out into the church that was burned in front of the White House and makes a speech. Wow, that guy has some cojones. But this might be the thing that gets us over there. And the thing is even though these stores are getting burned, getting robbed, getting their stuff stolen, burglarized, those are usually just smaller businesses. Like there's Apple and things like that. They have insurance that's going to cover all that stuff. But the whole of the economy is going to benefit because people are going to be out and about. And I think that's why the stock market isn't negative, isn't losing value, isn't going down during this time. Is because the investors realize that all of this is actually playing to the overall momentum of the economy. It's going to help get people back out in the streets, hopefully in the positive way and not in the destructive way. Because it's really sad, guys. I mean, I'm trying to be funny about this, trying to be jovial, not juvenile, jovial. Like, I'm trying to be humorous, trying to, speak in ways that make sense in English. But it is really sad, this whole thing that's happening, obviously. And you guys agree with me on that. But so it's just sad. I don't know what else to say about it. Honestly, I wanted to say some other things, but I was thinking of the contrast. It's interesting. In some places in the United States, people are burning businesses down. And the very same day, we had rockets burning into outer space. And I tweeted about this, is that those are the fires that we need to build. And this is kind of what I was talking about a couple episodes ago about finding opportunity in these times. Is that as Christians, we need to be looking to light those fires that advance society, that create value, that allow us to do new things, that create new opportunities, that create new jobs and new prosperity. Those are the fires that we need to be involved with. We don't need to be creating, advocating for the sins of rioting, of destruction, lawlessness, theft, all of these things, murder. People are dying. People are going to be permanently paralyzed from what is going on. It's such a weird world that we live in, where we are having one of the biggest space events in our lives, in the world, in history, at the same time that our cities are burning. And they're burning the minority cities. They're burning the places where minorities live, not where people that comment on this stuff, the elites, not like where those people live, not where I live. So something to think about. And another thing to think about is if you are looking to do some investing, or you're looking to get into some of the things in a downtown area, I would just be waiting, because these places are going to be destroyed. And there's most likely going to be incentives from the city, incentives from maybe even the federal government to invest in these areas. So not only are you going to be able to capitalize on the commercial property that's going to be left vacant from the government policies that shut down the economy, but also after this destruction and neighborhoods are going to be destroyed, there is probably going to be incentives for you to invest in it too. So there could be a great opportunity to start a business, start a restaurant, start something in the inner city. But beware, because these things can happen again. These riots can happen again. And this is the last thing I want to say. And for those of you who hold on to the end of this rant, I appreciate it. Doesn't it feel like there could be this one big thing that everyone talks about until the election? It was coronavirus, and there was like nothing else to talk about in podcasting until coronavirus. And now it's the riots. There's nothing else to talk about but the riots. And as soon as this kind of dies down, I feel like there's going to be something else. And after that dies down, something else. And that something else. Again, I would not dare sin by committing a conspiracy theory. But it just seems a little strange. It seems a little too opportunistic for certain groups. We need to be praying for our country, because regardless of what people are trying to do, God is still in control, and he still holds our future, and we still have a responsibility to be repentant as a church, to be praying for our land, to be humbly seeking God. And that's what it takes to heal the land. It takes us as Christians to heal the land. It doesn't take the absence of the George Soroses. It doesn't take a strong man like Donald Trump. It doesn't take the right Supreme Court justices. It requires us Christians to humbly seek him and pray. And then he will heal our lands. So let's be praying for that. We'll talk to you tomorrow. God bless.